I am old enough to remember when they just counted how many dollars or euros they were spending on weapons, and bases, and ships, and planes, and bombs, and troops in dollars or euros. If they wanted to say how many dollars they're going to spend on organized mass murder and destruction in next year's budget, they would just tell you in dollars. As mass insanities go, this made a certain amount of sense. You could compare what various governments spent on hellish slaughter in either absolute amounts or as per capita spending. Both of those ways of looking at it are completely gone out of fashion. It's not that they're incorrect. It's that speaking in that way about military spending is at best backwards, possibly suggests that you're working for Vladimir Putin, and almost implies that you're anti-Semitic. The preferred, the enlightened, dare I say the woke way to measure military spending is as a percentage of an economy. You don't need to spend based on past spending or someone else's spending or the size of your population or what's required by your beliefs in militarism and the current propaganda about your enemies. None of that matters. Military spending is a public service now. It is like spending on protecting the environment or preventing diseases or assisting immigrants or facilitating cooperation. If, we actually spent money on any of those crazy things. It is to be maximized. There is no limit to military spending. The more money a nation has, even if a small number of people are hoarding most of that money, the more it has to spend on wars. The more it has to spend on stealth nuclear bombers that can only be upgraded to the latest failures and errors by U.S. personnel. What was wrong with the old way of counting how many dollars you're spending? Well, even if you adjust it for inflation, it just keeps going up spending. It doesn't look good. It could give the wrong impression. People could think the rich parts of the world were imposing wars on the poor parts of the world, the way they're doing with climate destruction. What was wrong with per capita military spending? Well, the United States is number 2 on the list, and if I said who was number 1, I could be convicted of Nazism. Plus, you have to scroll down the list to the second page before you find any evil enemies on it. This will not do at all. And a percentage of government spending won't work because people get upset when they see that 60-70% of their taxes is going to wars. It's much better to demand, as NATO demanded at its meeting last year, that every country spend 2% of its economy on militarism. And even then, Trump was starting to say 3%, and I was asking what could prevent them from saying 5%, and now they're saying 5%. At that rate of growth, 250% per year, by next year, all government spending is war spending. Sounds very unlikely, but in fact, human survival is very unlikely unless we stop letting NATO headquarters tell our brains how to think about things and start thinking for ourselves. No to NATO, yes to peace.